The casino is a much nicer night out.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Hello friends, trace amounts of science. Welcome back to ReddX, and today we are doing another patron reading from the $20 tier of my Patreon. We've done 2 parts previously, and apparently I did read them right, but only because I had to wait until I was in the mood to read them right. I don't know. I've been critical of it in the past one, and I was like, I need to step away from it for a little while, and so I did. I'm very grateful to Chris for being patient with me regarding that. Gubbins wasn't here when we read those first couple things, but you probably heard me say some stuff. What do you think, Gubbins?
Gubbins think patron always good. Patron write books. Did Soft Chief write books? No. Write is hard. Gubbins don't write. Show love for bookman, please read.
You're right. You're damn right. I've had books in the works. I've tried to do this thing, but that's not a way I've been able to put myself out there yet. So, good for you, Chris the Dreamweaver, loyal patron, and good friend, you know? I can tell he wants to connect with me and stuff, and I don't know, I'm sorry I don't have all the time to do that, but I'll try to drop you a few more messages now and then. Anyway, now let's get into the post, I suppose, and thank you for the reminder, Gubbins. We shan't judge it too harshly. Let's just enjoy the ride, huh? Salvation Neckbeards 3. You came here too? A Neckbeard fan fiction. That's right, I'm always out here in some form or fashion. So please welcome back to Salvation Neckbeards, where today we're going to enjoy some more fun at the expense of our villains. Please remember that this is all fiction, so no Neckbeards were harmed in the creation of this story. Today I think that you're going to enjoy this madness. Just a bit different, I hope, for you, but very on brand for me. Yeah, anyone who's read some of my stuff probably knew that this episode was coming. It's gonna involve some rambling and gambling because I wouldn't be the lucky devil without having something like that, right? Question mark? We gotta put a question mark there, dude. Already, I'm feeling it creeping in. But Gubbins is whispering in my ear. Don't worry, keeping me on the level. I didn't know. Are you the Lucky Devil? I guess that's the username. It's Lucky Devil. I know you from your patron name, Chris the Dreamweaver. What's a dream-weaving devil but an incubus? There you go. You can have that for free. Just try not to get sued by the alt-rock band of the same name. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyone who wants to play poker in the UK, hit me up. I'm always up for new people to play against, and I can direct you to the best games in the South Coast. So let's get our character intro poem, because you know that you crazy fools love it. I mean, it is a little bit of extra magic added into it. Love it is a little bit strong, but also the poker thing's weird to me, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's how you make your dollary dues or something like that. I guess I won't judge it too harshly. I've done weirder things. Anyway, let us compare her to a summer's day. For this lady in the story is here to stay. That's right, she's been here for 3 parts. What, you thought she was going somewhere? She right here forever. The lady is truly Beardy Bates. It's Juliana, and for this story, she cannot wait. It's like breaking the 4th wall. Does she know the story exists? I'm sorry, I'll let you continue. Next is our seething beard. He is even worse than we feared. Blackfire is a demon of sloth, but is slowly becoming one of Roth. David Lee Roth. Roth is so funny. Our good loyal man is up next. A man who should really check a text. Michael Saint is our gambling man. He's about to make as much as he can. Finally is a new foe for the lady and hero. He's a techie that's for hire. Orcus is the paid ally of Blackfire, so we're all going far, far away on a lovely old holiday. Blackfire now has some extra cash. Now into the story we shall dash. And if I recall correctly, Blackfire's like the main villain guy. Didn't he have like 2 other henchmen in the other thing? Is this going to be like a big Neckbeard heist thing at the end? I don't know what's going on here. But we're strapped in. It's fine. They said, hey, I'll pay you $20 to take that ride. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, yeah, I will. The crazier things for less, I guess. And OP says, yeah, it's not my best, I know, but I'm trying to get this story down before I have a brain fart, as I've been wanting to write this one since I began. A little more fourth wall break there.
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
That's fine, I guess I do that all the time anyway. Since we last saw our lovebirds and their group of stalkers, Blackfire has had a busy couple of months. For Juliana and Michael, they've gone about their days unbothered by the fat men. This is mainly because of the police caution tape, but also because the dumb idiot had already been beaten up by a girl a fifth of his weight at the time, twice. It might be getting embarrassing for the Neckbeard. At a certain point, you do gotta leave well enough alone. Also, he had decided to plot and scheme. It helped that his elderly mother fell down the stairs while he was working. That's a new sentence, dude. And when he got the call, she was critically injured in the hospital. He didn't rush over immediately. No, he went and checked the house for her will to make sure that he got everything. He found it, and bingo, he was inheriting everything except some sentimental family crap that he didn't really need. The life insurance, the house, her savings, stock portfolio. Fantastic. He was rich. He just had to go over to the hospital and unplug that old broad, he thought to himself. Old broad, it's your mother. For God's sake, what the f...
You're horrible. You're an irredeemable monster.
We knew he was inhuman. When he turns that entire lump sum into Mountain Dew and Doritos and he's homeless a decade later, I don't think we could feel that bad for him, you know? So Blackfire did go to the hospital and saw her lying there, breathing through a tube. Now, most normal people might think to themselves, I'm sad in this moment. That's exactly how it comes out in my brain, too. And Blackfire decided that the only thing to do was to make sure that at the earliest opportunity, he would have the life support machine turned off and head out. Also, his phone needs charging. Rats. He can't exactly unplug the machine to do that. He might get in trouble. Yeah, maybe. 2 hours later, Dr. Human Person. Are you Mama Blackfire's next of kin? Blackfire, faking sincerity. Yes, Doctor. Dr. Human Person. Unfortunately, your mother suffered serious injuries, and as a result is likely not going to make it through the night due to her advanced age. Blackfire, faking shock. Oh no, not my poor mother. Well, please, don't prolong her suffering. She wouldn't want that. Dr. Human Person. She could still come around if she manages to recover in the next 12 hours enough. Blackfire, mildly panicking. No, I'd like her to pass on in peace, nice and easy. I'm sure she wouldn't want me to think about her pain all night. Yeah, a good son would sit by the bedside, but you just fucking unplug her. I gotta go home and play FIFA. You think he plays FIFA? I don't know, there's some people who are really into it. You never can tell, but kinda you can tell. Dr. Human Person. Are you sure, sir? Blackfire, certain. Absolutely, Doc. I'm gonna sign one of these forms for you. What's it called? A DNR thingy? I think that's what it's called. I probably saw it on House once, I think. Dr. Human Person, confused. Right, to himself. Because House is definitely a great reference. I don't know. It feels smart enough, at least for their, I don't know, first 3 seasons. Then it starts getting really fucking weird. Blackfire says, Hey, Doc, you got a charger for an iPhone? Dr. Human Person. Sure, I'll ask a nurse. 2 more hours later, Dr. Human Person says, Sir, I'm sorry to inform you that your mother's passed away. Blackfire, fake crying. Oh no, my poor mother. Mama, I'll miss you, but you're with Papa now. Dr. Human Person to himself. Well, at least he completed that level on Angry Birds. Oh, that's what he was doing in the meanwhile? Maybe Angry Birds is just how he decompresses. That doctor's so judgmental. What a dick. 1 week later. Well, let's check in on the lovebirds. Those lovely folk who are enjoying themselves as people in love. Yes, and they are indeed in love because we said that they are. I guess they've had some back and forth. Michael decided to book a holiday for himself and Juliana 3 months later. See, 3 months, that's love, isn't it? They were going to Vegas, baby, because that's a nice, fun place. I don't know if it's either of those things you use to describe it. I'd say filthy, debaucherous place. And they both enjoy a good flutter for their butter. I don't know what that means. Michael booked a fancy hotel and flight, whilst Juliana was going to cover all the non-gambling related entertainment for their 2 weeks. A good split of expenses, they figured, based on income. Yeah, show me the Excel spreadsheet. That's what I want to see. They got all excited because it would be a week of luxury and fun. Time to start planning. Let's see how that's going, Juliana. Okay, so we get in on Monday and we could do Cirque du Soleil on the Tuesday and hit casinos on Friday. Any ideas for the rest of the week? Michael, fancy restaurant night on Wednesday. Juliana, oh yeah, or we could do like a food challenge each. Michael, you're right, and I can embrace my inner fat man. I don't know what a food challenge is. Is that like where you eat the burger that has 8 patties and fries and a drink in less than 8 minutes? Because I saw it over here in the Philippines. It's at Zark's Burgers, and I should try it. I'll probably be able to do it. Just don't eat breakfast. Smash it, dude. Juliana says, yeah, easy there, Blackfire. And they both begin laughing like maniacs at this. Oh, you poor bastards. If only you knew what you were in store for. That's the narrator talking. Not me, but the, story narrator. Michael, want to hit a club up on Thursday? Juliana, oh God, no, I hate clubs. I work in one, remember? Michael, good point. Roller coasters then. Juliana, oh my God, how did I forget about that? Michael, definitely as a result of you having a lack of cheesecake, I believe. Side note, what's everyone's favorite cheesecake flavor? Put it in the comments. I think it's blueberry. Oh yeah. Look at that fucking cheesecake. That is the correct answer. It's blueberry all the way. I knew it the whole time. I'm going to keep this on my head as a little memento of the question. Every time you think of it, did you leave your comment about the cheesecake? Thank you so much. Juliana then says, then go get some cheesecake, silly, and none of that lemon-flavored crap. Oreo or strawberry, as always. Oreo? What a disappointing option. I could have any of God's natural flavors, and I picked Oreo. I want to eat some cow hoof. You're a monster, Juliana. Michael says, yes, madam. I guess I'm popping to Tesco's then. Juliana, and get some cherryade. I'm out. Michael, puts new meaning to the title of sugar daddy. Juliana, but you're not my real father. Yeah, is she dumb or something? Michael, yeah, I'm so glad. Otherwise, I'd be concerned based on our current relationship status. That is some stilted dialogue there. I gotta be real with you. People don't talk like this. And also, it doesn't really seem to me like she likes him all that much. She's just like, yeah, you're going out, then go get me thing. Where my wife is like, I want to come with you. Can I come? Yeah, of course you can. But we're like codependent to a toxic level, so I don't really know if it counts. Anyway, and from that crappy joke, Juliana begins to chuckle again. So our lovebirds are getting along, as you can see. They're enjoying life. Let's throw a monkey wrench into it. Or a fat idiot. Whichever you prefer. A fat idiot with a monkey wrench? Can we do that? Can we customize it? 2 months later. Oh, we were really working on getting the monkey wrench together, weren't we? Where'd I put that fucking thing? Blackfire, after 2 months, was finally able to quit his job and live his carefree life due to the inheritance coming in. His next move was to hit up his computer whiz friend, Orcus. He'd been keeping tabs on Juliana and her man toy online since he couldn't do it in person anymore due to, stupid cops who totally didn't take his side for some reason. After all, he only wanted to take her home with him. Why'd you have to punch him in the face? Well, Orcus was going to help him find out what he needed to know by just hacking into her phone. He wasn't going to try Michael's because he obviously had good security on his phone because he was a man with logic. Yeah, the Neckbeard POV parts of this story are the most hilarious to me, I think. That's why I've been shifting towards, just nice guys and dating stuff. I like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. But this is fun, too, though. This is good, too, though. This is the roots of the channel, though. She was just this emotional girl. Within minutes of paying Orcus for his services, he discovered that she was planning a little holiday to Vegas. Sweet. He could take her to a wedding chapel immediately after catching up with her. When was she going, he wondered. Looks like it was around March, which is apparently the cheapest time for flights and hotels there. Looks like Michael's a cheap bastard. I mean, this is how the rich stay rich, son. But he was rich now, and he could totally impress her with all his newly found wealth. He might be richer than Michael now. Time to book everything up. It was a month away. He was going to make sure he could be there to greet her. After all, the cops here told him that he couldn't contact her, but they didn't say anything about going on a holiday with her. Yeah, I'm sure she'll love that. He even learned how to play poker through practice on Zynga Poker. Zynga!
With Zynga Poker, you can take on the world.
Wow, you're invoking the darkest ancient magic here, aren't you? And from watching a bunch of movies like Casino Royale, because he totally was James Bond, and Juliana would be his Vespa. What's that? Vespa Queen? Like the Pokemon? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think I've seen that Bond movie. I sort of fell out of James Bond films. I mean, I sit down, I watch them, I'm like, fuck, that was so good. And then people are like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, dude. there was some shit going down, though. OP wants to say, okay, this is an actual poker player side note for you because I feel like this is something that needs to be said. Casino Royale, whilst being a great film, is no accurate representation of a poker game. I mean, yeah, dude, it's a movie. If you're media poisoned enough to believe that anything you saw in a movie could possibly happen in real life, then don't. Stop it. You need to go outside. The top 3 poker movies that accurately represent the game are Rounders, Molly's Game, and Deal. Ironically, there's a thing called a Casino Royale as a type of poker player's hustle. It involves bringing a pretty gal pal with you in a nice dress while you're in a tuxedo and praying she's pretty enough to distract your opponents and not pretty enough to distract you yourself. I'll admit that I had done this with a family friend when she asked me to take her to the casino because she was fed up of being pawed on by idiots at a club, and the casino is a much nicer night out.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Casinos smell like cigarettes and failure. It's just permeated with the aura of depression. I don't want to spend any more time than I have to at a casino. Can I just be... Obviously, you and I differ on this greatly. Couldn't be me. That's all I'll say. The worst she'd have to deal with is a gawker from the occasional student from the local university. At least these guys would be partially intelligent, is her logic, and most are. Us poker players might not be fully evolved, but we're generally civilized. Besides, whenever I do this, it is always fun to just suit up and hang out with my friend. I think that's the best way to look at it. And while I think the side note was slightly masturbatory, it also taught me some things I didn't know. So we're going to let that one slide, you know? Side note's over, back into the story, says OP. So across town, Juliana was checking her phone. Funny, it's pretty warm. She was just coming back off her break and saw a cute text from Michael suggesting a karaoke night before they leave for Vegas. Probably because he wanted an excuse to serenade her with Michael Bublé songs, because it truly was the only thing that he could sing and not fall out of tune with. I mean, Michael Bublé still takes some skill. She was a truly terrible singer, and Michael loved to tease her about the fact that she sounded like a bag of cats drowning, no matter whose songs she sung. Is this like a humiliation thing for him? I don't know. Michael's maybe kind of a dick, too. I try and read between the lines. I'm trying to suss out everybody's motive at the same time, you know? Usually just leads to me being hypercritical, hyper-skeptical, but I don't know. It's gotten me this far. Why change up now? Michael at least had the jazz voice. Apparently Michael, though, wanted to try out his Neil Diamond impression. Maybe he could pull it off. Please, for the love of God, if he does, don't pick Love on the Rocks. It's such a depressing song. So the two went through their week before doing their karaoke night at a local bar. Michael did go through with singing Neil Diamond, but he decided to go for Sweet Caroline as his song choice. Whatever, fuckers don't know about my rhinestone cowboy.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Part.
He lost tune after the first chorus. Then something very unexpected happened. Blackfire got up on the stage for the next song. The stage actually creaked as he walked onto it. Good lord. Was he back to stalking her, or was he just unfortunately at the same spot tonight? He hadn't approached her, so she let it slide for now. Juliana is an idiot, dude. How did he find me halfway across the country? It must just be a coincidence. Are you stupid or something? For real? Come on now. Blackfire says, "Hey, what's up, people? I got this next one. Let's big it up in this club." Yes, up in this club. People say that, right? Not since 2002. The drunken crowd cheered for him, as drunken karaoke clubbers do. Seriously, if you've never done it, karaoke clubs are the one place you can guarantee you'll get people to cheer and whoop for you because everyone's just trying to have fun and not get wasted. How can you have any fun if you aren't wasted? That's so dumb. But yeah, wifey and I do karaoke fairly often. I can sing anything that's super monotone. And probably this was the first time that anyone had cheered for Blackfire in his life. He lifted his arms in triumph to soak it in, causing half the crowd to take a step back from the scent of his armpits. Now, to get a picture of this scent, allow me to paint the picture. Have you ever smelt what moldy cloths and BO is like? Moldy cloths and BO. It's like just mildew, isn't it? He's mildewy. And some pit stank, of course. Also he had gotten fatter. No time to worry about it, though, as the song just started playing, and it was My Way by Frank Sinatra. John Oliver was right. It is the song of every asshole. Yeah, well, I won't let that diminish things for me. Unlike old Blue Eyes, he sung like what she imagined a drunken bear in desperate need of a throat lozenge sounded like. Well, he sung it, and the crowd gave a very unenthusiastic and forced politeness clap. Ah, a smattering of indifference. I mean, Social Contract is a real asshole like that. He triumphantly raised his arms again, and the crowd parted for him like he was Moses and they were the sea. Juliana and Michael hid in the crowd so as not to tempt a confrontation, whilst suddenly feeling the urge to take their mildly drunk asses out of this place. No need, though, as a manager came with a bouncer to talk to him. It was then they realized he was still holding the microphone, as the DJ was signaling to him about that as well. Manager, "Sir, could you please come with me outside?" Blackfire into the microphone. "Why, dude? I sung so good." Manager, "It's nothing to do with that. Although we will need the microphone back, sir." Blackfire into the microphone. "And then what? You got a policy against allowing true alpha males in or something?" It was at this moment that Juliana was restraining laughter with all of her might. Manager, "No, sir, it's your hygiene." Blackfire into the mic, perplexed. "My hygiene? What's wrong with it? I use deodorant and everything." Manager, "Maybe it's worn off, sir. I'm sorry, but maybe invest in a stronger brand. Blackfire into the microphone. But Lynx is a great brand, I thought.
Go fresh as fresh with Lynx Africa.
Who the hell would want to smell like Africa?
Manager, it sure is, but apparently it isn't quite as advertised. You'll have to leave now, sir. Is all of this just a thinly veiled commercial for Lynx deodorant and, what was the other thing, Zynga poker? You're getting advertisement at $20 a month, and I gotta say, that is such a deal. I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna have to hike some prices up. Blackfire into the microphone. How dare you insult me, sir? I'm not what you say I am. Don't you dare impugn my honor with these lies. I will not tolerate such a thing. Manager, please calm down, sir. How about we give the DJ back the microphone and take this outside so we can talk about this rationally? Yeah, and make sure you stand upwind from him. Blackfire slams the microphone onto the floor in that moment, stomping on it before leaving in tears, crying out, "This is not how you should treat an alpha male like myself." The manager had a bewildered look on his face, whilst also looking at the now destroyed microphone on the floor. You owe us a couple $100 for that, you know? Bouncer. Should we call the cops? Manager. Let him go. I'll get another microphone. I'm sorry about this, folks. The manager's just got microphones lined up. I guess if you own a karaoke bar. It's sort of weird that, Blackfire never got to splash his cash or anything, but I'm sure he'll make another opportunity. Blackfire had successfully skulked off into the night, never to be seen from again. Or at least until about 2 weeks later. So here's the part you've all been waiting for. We're in Vegas, baby! Oh, it smells terrible. Why is everything so expensive? What do you mean a hobo's screaming outside my window at 3 a.m.? I thought this was a nice place. No more build-up. Here we go! Pre-warning, this is where you, dear reader, are going to get a bit of a crash course in poker throughout. Yeah, maybe. It might be cool. Okay. Let's start with the fact that Blackfire, despite being a repugnant ass, wasn't stupid enough to reveal his presence immediately. No, he just played cheap poker, $1 or $2, in Michael and Juliana's hotel, waiting for them to come to him. They eventually would. He wasn't sure, though, why he wasn't winning as much, however. He played almost every hand he got dealt, so surely he should be winning. Then it hit him that he had to use his superior intellect to beat these plebeians. So he began conversing with these lesser beings, talking trash, getting into their mental mind. He did win more, but still wasn't winning everything. How could this be? Well, you never fucking gambled before? OP says, okay, side note from a poker player for you. If you play almost every hand, you're known as one of two things. A grinder, a player who plays aggressively and wins through sheer aggressive play, or an ATM, a player who calls a lot but also loses a lot, and in a cash game is a poker player's dream opponent. Yeah, I'm the one who folds on the flop every time, unless I got something good, and then everybody else folds. It's like, oh, I fucking hate this game. It's stupid.
I should get going, too. It's probably a good thing since I've been getting complete crap all night. Who's in? Fold. Damn it!
So the fated meeting came. Michael and Juliana had just come back from lunch and saw him having his. In their hotel was this crazy-ass Neckbeard who'd been warned by police to stay the hell away from him. They had almost enjoyed 4 months free of his shit, and now he was here in their hotel, munching on surf and turf, blissfully ignorant of the world around him. Then he turned to spot them and waved. What the actual fuck, they both thought, as they saw this disaster of a human waving at them with this stupid, poop-eaten grin on his face, before he returned to devouring a surf and turf that was clearly designed to be for more than 2 people, completely by himself. Honestly, though, super jealous. I would love a surf and turf platter in front of me. I'll wreck that shit. Fat man powers activate.
See you in spring, toes.
Juliana, tell me that we're both having a shared nightmare right now. Michael, just treat him like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. He can't see us if we don't move, right? Juliana, did he follow us here? Michael, how could he have known is my question, if so. Juliana, I suddenly have the urge to play poker for a bit. Hopefully that can distract me from the fact that I'm currently watching him do his best hungry hippo impression. Michael, good idea. It's unlikely he can afford to play the same stakes as us anyway, right? I mean, yeah, poor people. High five. Juliana, exactly. He works at KFC part-time. He doesn't exactly have a big budget. He's going to hand all of that inheritance out to the casino. At a certain point, this is just sad.
Where did you get that kind of money? The casino gave me credit. I put the house up as collateral, but I still have this $10 chip.
If it wasn't fictional, I'd be weeping at the moment. So with that, Michael and Juliana went over to the poker pits and bought into a cash game, $5,000 apiece. They played a couple 5-10 for some hours, and then it happened. He came. For once, he didn't smell like the inside of a sewer, so there was that small mercy. How the hell did he have money for this, though? Did he borrow from a loan shark or something? Because if so, that guy was going to be pissed when he found out that his new client was a broke fat bum gambling in Vegas. Speaking of which, Ramtide told me he used to roll through Vegas every now and again. They give you free money for the casino, like to start, you know? So you go play around with your free chips and hope you win something. That's Poverty Survival Guide tip number 1824. OP says, for those who think that this is insane, it really isn't. A lot of professional poker players do, when in a new gambling environment, will if they can warm up on lesser players, so they work out the worst plays before playing proper players. Unfortunately for Blackfire, he wasn't a professional poker player, he was an idiot. I don't think not knowing how to play poker makes you an idiot. But okay. We get our kicks in different ways, you know? Different things get us up on the high horse. And if that's being good at a card game, then awesome. Proud of you. Blackfire faking surprise. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Fancy seeing you here. You play too? Michael and Juliana just looked at each other with a feeling of dread in them, filling them up. Juliana folded her hand, then Michael looked down at his. Pocket nines. He raised it, $50. Blackfire looked down at his hand. 5 of hearts, 8 of clubs. He called. The guy on the big blind called too, and then the flop came. 9 of diamonds, king of spades, 5 of diamonds. The big blind player checked. Michael raised 110, and then Blackfire raised to 400. The big blind folded to get out of the way of this shit show brewing. Michael called. Off to the turn card. 5 of clubs. If Blackfire knew Michael's hand and how to play at this level, he'd be going, oh shit, to himself. Instead, he didn't know Michael's hand or how to play, so this was about to become a disaster. Michael raised it to 600 before Blackfire snapped back 1,700. Insta-call. Michael could just see the money. Then the river card, 2 of spades. Gotta love a river card. That's as inconsequential as it gets. Michael announces, all in. Blackfire thought about it for about 5 seconds and called. $2,850 right down the toilet when Michael showed the full house, or the boat, as us poker folk call them. Yeah, the only card game I ever really played is Balatro. You know, you guys are playing that shit? It's amazing.
Balatro. Never underestimate a joker.
Way better than actual poker. Almost as good as chess. Anyway, Blackfire. What? Impossible! How could you have done that? Michael. Simple. I bet, and you called, and so I win. Blackfire. But you're a simpleton in comparison to me. Michael. That's why I kept it simple. So, as the day went on, the game also went on. Blackfire kept rebuying and losing. The stakes went up and up for the next few hours as Blackfire kept rebuying. Blackfire did win a few hands and even learned how to fold throughout the night, but he was still $305,000 in the hole 9 hours in. The blinds had been raised to $2,550, he was currently the only player on a 9-player to be losing, although a bunch of people who lost money on the table kept dropping out of the game due to cash flow or the stakes being too much for him. Then came the hand of karma itself. Blackfire got a rebuy back into the game for 100,000, and Juliana had a stack of 105,000. Yep, she made 100,000 profit because this guy had raised the stakes so much with the money he had just put in. The cards were dealt, and Juliana was under the gun staring down at 10 of spades and jack of spades. $175 raise. Everyone but Blackfire folded. Blackfire was looking at pocket sixes. The flop came, 6 of spades, 9 of spades, queen of clubs. Yeah, here comes the straight flush, I'm pretty sure. Blackfire was in the lead this time. He had the devil's hand on the flop, but Juliana was first to act with an open-ended straight and a flush draw. With this, she had a 48% chance of hitting a winning card. All she needed to do was hit an 8, a king, or a spade, and she would take the lead. She bet 300, he raised her to 1,200. A bit of an overbet, but not outlandish. Blackfire was all of a sudden focused on this one. He was on his last buy-in. If he lost now, he'd barely be able to afford to get a new shirt on his back, and she would have defeated him. Meh, a mere woman wouldn't defeat him, he thought to himself. She 3-bet him all the way to 5,500. Gutsy play by many standards. Blackfire simply called. Then the turn card was an 8 of spades. Bingo! Juliana thought to herself as the gamble she just made paid off. She hit her flush with an open-ended draw on a straight flush. Blackfire smirked, thinking he had this in the bag. He clearly liked his hand. Ordinarily, 3 of a kind is a good hand to have, but not when there's a straight or flush possibility for any novice players out there. When this happens, a novice will either fold because of the possibility that they're losing, or ignore that they only have 3 of a kind, and of all the strong hands, this is actually one of the weaker ones. Now, there are still redraws to the board pairing and you winning, but now, for Blackfire, it couldn't be a queen of spades or he would be destroyed. He had a total of 10 potential cards to hit, giving him 20% odds to make that river card. Juliana bet 11,000. He raised it again, trying to regain the betting lead, 28,000. She called and on to the river. It was the best or worst card in the deck possible, depending on the perspective of the player. It was the lady with the shovel herself, Queen of Spades. It was as if the poker gods themselves intervened with some help from karma to give themselves the ultimate justice boner, as Juliana checked her queen-high straight flush over to the very chuffed Blackfire. He was sitting there with a couple of sixes full of cues and thinking that he was about to do to Juliana what Michael did to him on his first hand with them. He ripped the remainder of his stack into the pot, and before the dealer could drop the all-in button by his position, Juliana called. The dealer got Blackfire to show his hand first, as he was the primary aggressor, and Blackfire showed the full house. Juliana did what anyone in her position would do. She slow-rolled that fat bastard and enjoyed every bit of his squirming as she showed the 10 of spades and then playfully looked at the jack of spades before dropping it down to the table to reveal the straight flush. Blackfire's jaw could have gone all the way to China with how hard it dropped. His gangly teeth were on full display before he fainted, face first, right onto the table. What an idiot. Fortunately for everyone except him, the dealer, ever the professional, had scooped his chips beforehand and was now happily sending them over to a delighted Juliana, who was just thinking about whether to buy a house or a nice car or just quit work and start doing this full time. Yeah, that couldn't possibly go poorly. It's probably gonna be fine! A little gambling job. It's not a habit, it's not an addiction, it's a job, okay?
What? It's just a job. Just a job.
I guess there is a difference, maybe. But yeah, I don't ever see myself getting brushed up enough to do it professionally. You probably lose some too, you know? I'm not ready for that part of it. I only want number go up. Anyway, OP says, trust me, it's moments like this that do make you think about it. Word of advice, don't quit your job until after you've produced 3 months of consistent results averaging $20,000 in cash and $50,000 on tournament winnings, or you might go broke. Yeah, cool, super. I'll keep that in mind. What the fuck? That would never cross my mind. I'd take my $100,000 and Just be amazed that that happened. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth. What if I can do it again? What type of stupid shit is that? Don't do it again! You got lucky, now take it and run. Anyway, Opie says, now what happened next is something that both broke the table and earned Blackfire a nice bill on top. You see, before he left, he didn't think to get holiday insurance. After all, he was just going to be in the casino stalking his prey. Not like she already hadn't beat him up twice, and he was in the worst country on the planet to land in a hospital at. He's in the Philippines? After all, anyone who knows American hospitals' reputation knows the fact that just calling an ambulance is enough to cost you the price of a used car. Oh, because of the bill, it's American hospitals. I mean, it is different in the Philippines. Like, you can get an ambulance ride for probably less than $20, you know? Problem is that the ambulance is going to take like an hour and a half to get to your house. You're probably dead at this point anyways. Should have paid the cost of a used car, I guess. A stay of multiple days is worth the value of a decent plot of land or a small house normally. Honestly, at this point, if you get sick without insurance in the US, just hand over your credit card to the guy who does your admitting paperwork and make it easy. So, what did happen next? Blackfire had a pit boss and security guy help him sit back in his chair. He relaxed so much that he let loose a giant fart. He must have really enjoyed his surf and turf earlier, because whatever happened next was something that earned him the trip to the hospital to go get checked out for food poisoning. Yep, his fart followed through and the smell was instant, causing everyone at the table to instantly ask to leave. When examined on the amount of follow-through, let's just say it's like that Rick and Morty Christmas episode when the dam inside the guy exploded and took out everything.
It's gonna burst! Go! Go, go, go! Go!
Oh, that poor cleaner. Someone tip that person. We don't do that. It's only for fast food workers and Starbucks baristas. Paramedics came for the still unconscious and now overly soiled Blackfire as the game that just broke continued on. Wait, I thought everybody left. Whatever. He spent 2 days in the hospital bed being probed, tested, and poked by some grouchy doctor who could have easily passed for Dr. Cox from Scrubs if that guy had an overbite big enough to make a beaver jealous with the book smarts of Stifler from American Pie. His total hospital bill after being told he had food poisoning from a hunter's chicken he had the night prior was, after the ambulance doctor's tests and meds, $50,000. You should have got that insurance, buddy. That's when you ask them for the itemized receipt, and magically your bill will go down. This is kind of weird. Also, PSA, cook your chicken good, or you'll make friends with two unpleasant folks called Sam and Ella. Like, he's not even the one that... You're gonna sue the casino. You're gonna go get your fucking money back. That's the next move here. I'm not the one who undercooked this fucking chicken. So, that brings us to a conclusion to this part of the tale. In 1 week in the City of Sin, Blackfire lost all his inheritance except his house. He shit himself in public and learned how to play poker like an idiot. Next time, everyone goes for a drive and we see what Michael's got behind the wheel. I'm a cool rich gambling guy driving in a fast car. Oh, Michael, you're the protagonist we always wanted. I don't really like anybody in the story. Like, I'll go for any excuse to rip on them, you know? And it's good. They're cardboard cutouts. They're just caricatures. They aren't hurt when I take a bite from them, you see. Anyway, Opie says, as a final note, I would like to say that whilst I myself have on and off made a living playing poker, it is by no means a good plan without either a secondary income source or, more importantly, enough of a winning streak to support yourself if you have a downswing. Don't quit your job over one good night, nor use gambling as a source of income without producing consistent results that will comfortably support you and pay all your bills with disposable income to boot. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Consistent results in gambling, that's like two fucking opposite things, you know?
It's not true. That's impossible.
That's why I'm never, ever going to do that. I have plenty of other addictions, though. Don't worry about it. Whenever you play, always set a budget and try not to deviate from it, as you can and will go broke if you decide to bet everything and figure it out later. Yeah, you get caught up in the moment. You're like, I could fucking win this. Oh no, my life is over. You really want to make that split-second decision? I don't. I fold. I'm going home. Good night, everybody. You have a right to gamble, but you do not have a right to win. And unlike when playing for free on Zynga, you do. He's really out about Zynga there. I'm gonna jack up the Patreon tier prices. This is a fucking thinly veiled advertisement. You don't get free bonuses daily for playing. Play within your means and only within your means. Thank you for reading this part. Yeah, I got you, bro. I like Zynga poker too. Again, also, I hope that everyone remembers that this is just fiction. None of this actually happened to any individual. However, these events can happen, so please look out for your fellow humans and even neckbeards, because unchecked gambling and stalking can ruin lives. Also, you know what? Let's make a nice little tune for ReddX to sing, and in honor of Vegas, let's have it be based on the song sang by the king himself. So, ReddX, get that Elvis ready, my dude. You ain't nothing but a neckbeard, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a neckbeard, stalking all the time. Well, you ain't never seen a salad, you're just a stalker of mine. Well, you say that you're a nice guy, well, that's just a lie. Well, you say that you're a nice guy, well, that's just a lie. Well, you shit your pants and you're just a stalker of mine. Nothing but a neckbeard, creeping all the time. You ain't nothing but a neckbeard, stalking all the time. Well, you ain't never seen a salad, you're just a stalker of mine. You're just a nice guy, well, that was just a lie. Will you say that you're a nice guy? That was just a lie. Well, you shit your pants, you're just a stalker of mine. Squantle. Close enough, right? I didn't sing the first one. This time I sung it. Pretty flat, but we'll take it. So thank you for the post. OP does have a book if you'd like to check out the link in the description. Plenty of plugs for just $20 a month over on my Patreon. That's a plug for me, finally. We get to do it at the end of the episode, don't we? Get this fucking wig off. I've had it. I've had enough of this. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. We had fun. We had fun today, didn't we? Thank you guys so much for joining me. Sign up on the Patreon and YouTube memberships to help us out. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd be so kind. Fourth wall for the merch. Amazon affiliate link to my microphone in the description. I get kicked back a couple of bucks if you buy something on Amazon after you click it. No big deal. You don't have to, just if you're a member. But I do appreciate it. If you can't throw money at things, well, me either. I'm not a poker big shot. I don't drive a fast car. But I'm relatively satisfied. And thank you for joining me on the journey, of course. I want you all to remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.